Hi guys, welcome to Monday's reading video. Today we are going to read a Scholastic News. So I'm going to go over how to do that, and then I'm also going to go over how to log in as a student so you can see the Scholastic News online. So in your bag, you should have gotten a folder that looks like this with Scholastic News on the front. Inside that folder, there should be a paper that looks like this. This is all the information that you will need to log in online, and we'll get back to this in a minute. The other thing that should be in that packet are 10 Scholastic News packets, and each packet contains information about the competencies and standards we're meeting, and then some worksheets, and then the last piece is the actual magazine. So you can do this two ways. You can read along with me to the actual magazine, or if you'd like, you can read it on a screen on your computer. All right, and log in. So I'm going to go over how to log in, and I'm going to share my screen as I do it, just so there's no questions. So let's get started with that. First, you are going to go to this website right here. Then you're going to go over here to the corner and you're going to log in. You're going to log in as a student, so I am a student. And then the classroom password is at the bottom, and it's Tent Team, Team 7066. And you're going to sign in. Now it takes my computer a little bit longer because my internet is slow at my house, but this is the page that you will come to. And there's all kinds of magazines on here that we'll work through, but we're gonna start in March, and we're gonna start with Don't Mess with This Dad. So you can go ahead and click on that magazine, and then it'll bring you to a page with a bunch of resources for that magazine. So this is the page where you can find all kinds of resources. You can find the video, you can find the slideshow, a game, and you can listen and read to the magazine. So that's what we're going to do right now. All right, if my dog keeps barking, I'm going to stop the video so he doesn't come. So we're going to hit listen and read, and we're going to select on level. And it takes a minute to load, so I preloaded this. So I'm going to switch screens to this one. All right, so we're going to read through this magazine, and then we're going to do the back page, and that's all we're going to do for today. So you can read along with me on my screen. You can read along with the hard copy. Either one works. So the title of this magazine is what is in the orange letters. Don't mess with this dad. That's a great photograph on the cover. I'm wondering if you can take a second and just point to the caption on the cover. What is the caption on the cover? Yeah, it's these white words down here. So let's read the caption. This dad is tough. He keeps his eggs safe from hungry animals. It's a big job for a little frog. There's also some other writing on this photograph, and that's called the label. I'm wondering if you can find the white writing, point to it, that is the label. Yeah, over here, glass frog, and there's the arrow, which tells us that this is the label. That is the kind of frog. It is a glass frog. All right, let's keep going. All right, what do you think the headline of this section is? Of these pages, what do you think the headline is? Yeah, it's these letters up in green. So they say Dad on Duty. As you read, think about the different ways the frog dad cares for the eggs. Buzz, buzz. A wasp flies close to a clutch of frog eggs. The wasp is hungry, and those eggs look tasty. I wonder what a clutch is. I'm going to click on it, and you can click on it too when you have it, when you log in on your own, but I'm going to click on it, and hopefully it'll bring us up a little definition. Clutch, a group of eggs that this is a clutch of frog eggs. I had no idea that's what a group of frogs' eggs was called. Interesting. A frog dad sits nearby. His job is to keep the clutch safe. So he jumps into action. He kicks out one of his long, strong legs. Whack! His leg hits the wasp. It flies away, but Dad's job is far from over. Now we're going to go up here. So these are columns. This is one column and this is another column. This is how newspapers are often written. There are other animals that want to eat the eggs, so Dad covers them with his body. This keeps them extra safe. This also keeps them moist. The eggs need to stay wet. I wonder if you can figure out what moist means, or if you already know what moist means. Listen to the sentence again. This also keeps them moist. The eggs need to stay wet. What do you think that word might mean? Let's listen, or let's click on it. Moist, a little bit wet. A sponge can feel moist after you use it. I would say another word for moist might be damp. If the eggs are really dry, Dad does something else. He pees on them. That might sound gross, but it helps the eggs survive. Interesting. Taking care of the clutch is a lot of hard work. Good job, Father Frog. And down here is the author of this article, and the author is Carrie Acer. Wow, we learned a lot of information about frogs in that section. If you look over here at the photograph of the glass frog with the clutch of little baby frog eggs, let's read the caption. Point to the caption if you can. Yeah, it's up here. A group of frog eggs is called a clutch. Did that caption give us some information? Yeah, it did. Down here is a video. So you can watch that video. I'm not going to watch it now just because I don't think it's going to load very well, but you can watch it when you log in on your own. We scroll down to the bottom. It says from egg to frog. And this information is going to be helpful tomorrow. We're going to do an activity with this information. The father frog doesn't need to keep the eggs safe forever. They change and become adult frogs over time. So step one is the egg. A clutch has many eggs in it. Each one can grow into a frog. Step two in the life cycle, the tadpole. A tadpole hatches from an egg. A tail helps it swim. It can live only in water. Step three, tadpole with legs. The tadpole starts to grow legs. Its tail starts to shrink. Step four, adult frog. It has long legs and no tail. It can live on land or in water. All right, and we're going to go to the last page, and this is the page that I want you to complete with your parents. I'm going to read through the questions, and I want you to do it with your mom and dad. Now, if you look, there's a graph at the top. How many eggs are in 4 different clutches? Use the graph below to answer the questions. So the title of this graph is Glass Frog Egg Graph. And over here, we're talking about the number of eggs. So these numbers mean the number of eggs in each clutch. And over here, you have the 4 different egg clutches. You have clutch A, clutch B, clutch C, and clutch D. So these are different sets of frog eggs. So if you look, the purple bar from this bar graph goes all the way up to the number 20. That means that there's 20 eggs in clutch A. How many eggs are in clutch B? 15. How many eggs are in clutch C? 30. How many eggs are in clutch D? 15. So I'm not going to answer these questions, but I am going to read them. Number 1, clutch A has eggs. You're going to fill in the circle next to 15, 20, or 25. So you're going to go back up and you're going to figure out how many eggs are in clutch A. Number 2, clutch D has eggs, 15, 20, or 25. Number 3, which clutch has the most eggs? Clutch A, clutch B, or clutch C? And then the bonus question. Which 2 clutches have an equal number of eggs? So again, you're going to look up at the graph and figure out which 2 clutches, A, B, C, or D, have the same number of eggs, because equal means the same as. All right, once you're done with that, your reading lesson for today is done. So if you have any questions or if you have trouble logging in to Scholastic News, please let us know and we will help you as best we can, but you can always use the hard copy too. Okay? All right, happy reading.